Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. I just dropped something. I think it was my pen. Welcome to Pearl's Politics. All right, and let me just put that on the screen. Hello, everybody. Welcome. I may be broadcasting to myself tonight because I know it's going to take everybody a while to get used to me coming back on Pearl's Politics. And broadcasting again. Okay. But it's all right. I'm gonna do it until y'all catch up with me. Okay? All right then. So I'm not gonna be long. That's one thing I said that I was trying to do my politics show in about 30 minutes. Let y'all look at the top of the news first, and then y'all come on and watch Pearl's Politics. So if anybody is watching out there, please share the show. All right. All right. So I'm gonna first start out and say, as you can see on the screen, I'm gonna talk about the vaccine, suspension of the mandate, politics being brought into courtrooms, and of course the border crisis and reparations. So I'm going to do all that in 30 minutes. Wow. All right, so let's start. OSHA suspends enforcement of the COVID vaccine or test mandate. For a lot of people, that's good news. And for a lot of people, that's too late because a lot of people have already quit their jobs, resigned, and lost that position because they had to leave in objection to getting vaccinated. It says that the suspension does not affect the CMS rule requiring healthcare worker vaccination. So it only it applies to everybody except healthcare workers. Okay. So this happened apparently November the 17th. Okay, so that's yesterday. Yesterday. Okay. So it says that the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, OSHA, noted on its website Monday that on November the 12th, a U.S. appeals court granted a motion to stay OSHA's COVID-19 vaccination and testing emergency temporary standard, ETS, published on November 5th. The court ordered that OSHA take no steps to implement or enforce the ETS until further court order. It says that OSHA remains confident that in its authority to protect workers in emergencies, OSHA has suspended activities related to the implementation and enforcement of the ETS pending further developments in the litigation, the website said. OSHA had been hit with multiple lawsuits from states and private businesses objecting to the rule. Why do we have to always have to sue just to get things done? Why do we always have to go to court to get things done? Uh, you know, uh, uh, everything, just anything, any little thing has to go to court when it really is just plain common sense. Okay. Now, it goes on to say that the mandates for all healthcare workers whose organizations receive funding from Medicare or Medicaid be fully vaccinated against COVID by January 4th, 2022. We have a higher bar for healthcare workers given their critical role in ensuring the health and safety of the patients. Mm. And I'm just going to check, make sure I can be heard. Of the patients. Yeah, okay, I can be heard. I didn't want to go through my whole broadcast and y'all not be able to hear me. Okay. All right. Now, let me see if I can do a little adjustment here too on my camera. My camera is just a little bit too. There we go. I think that's a lot better. Thank you. All right. So, um, it just goes on with blah 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 about how much they was gonna charge each business, what penalty was gonna have to be paid for a single citation. It's gonna be like $14,000. And they said even before the ETS was issued, 24 state attorney generals had threatened to file lawsuits if the Biden administration move forward with vaccine or test rules for private businesses. And as soon as the rules were announced, the Alliance Defending Freedom and the Dillon, I believe it is, law group introduced a challenge to the Biden administration rules on behalf of the Daily Wire, a conservative news site. Yeah, I saw him talking on um, one of the channels earlier. So, uh, I hadn't heard any a response from the White House yet, and maybe I missed it today because I was watching the Arbery trial. But it'll be interesting to see now what the Biden administration will do about this decision that came down from the court. I'm trying to say what court it was from. Um, it says the U.S. Appeals Court. Okay, so let's see if I can find out a little bit more about that court for you. Okay. No, I don't see that. I must have saw that somewhere else, but I'm reading this from MedPage. MedPage. All right then. So moving on. I gotta look at my ticker so I can see what else I'm talking about. Okay. Suspension of vaccine mandate. Yeah, like I said, that's gonna be good for a lot of people. Because and then that mandatory testing, them, you know, giving people an option to get a vaccination, or if you don't get the vaccination, you have to be tested daily. And I'm not sure if people was going to have to pay for that themselves. If an employee was going to have to pay to be tested every day, or was the business going to have to carry the cost, of testing uh, the workers, the employees every day. So it's just a great big mess. So that's why I say, now people can go back to work. Maybe we can end the supply chain that's backed up due to truck drivers quitting their jobs, truck drivers not driving because they did not want to be vaccinated. And everybody has that right, I think, because I think everybody knows their own body better than any administration. Okay. I know mine better than any administration. So it's a good thing, um, in my opinion, because now, people can go back to work and not have to be in fear of losing their jobs, don't have to be intimidated by other coworkers. Yeah, because there was some reports of other coworkers in businesses, you know, shrugging, the acting differently toward those employees that did not want to get vaccinated, and so this is a good thing, I believe. And whoever the judge was that made this decision had plenty of good sense. And really nowadays, that's all it takes is just plain old common sense. Whatever happened to that? We politics, common sense is needed in everything. And everything we do, it's needed in politics, it's needed in religion, because you don't want to be a religious fanatic. you know, you gotta, it just is. Common sense is needed in everything. So, hats off to the judge that suspended this ridiculous mandate. Because, see, this is why we have the supply chain. This is why groceries are so high, and energy getting ready to go up. All of that is because people left their jobs, and people have the right to make their decision on their own as to whether they want to. And the same thing for their children. It's their children, so let them make their decision about their children, So I just think it was a good decision on the judge, on his behalf. people can go back to work now, or people can go and look for jobs. Because you know what? This vaccine mandate stop people from looking for jobs. Hmm. Yeah, stop people from looking for jobs. Because they knew that that this particular business, maybe where they might have been interested in working, had was going to require them to be vaccinated. So now people can go get it back into the workforce, and we can end the supply chain. Truck drivers can get back on the road. Hey, to me, it's a win-win. All right. So now let's talk about the politics of the courtroom. Okay, so of course I watched the whole trial of the Rittenbaum. No, not Rittenhouse. Okay, I watched that all last week. So today I watched all of the trial for today and yesterday on the Aubrey. So they're going to do their closing arguments on Monday. So all of the evidence is in. And the thing about the politics part that I'm talking about is that it it was this particular attorney that brought the politics part of it into the courtroom, talking about race. Um, he didn't want the black pastors in the courtroom. And hats off to that judge too, because see, our courtrooms is a public facility. Mm, I don't know why people don't understand that a courtroom is okay. Fans, stop making noise. A courtroom is a public building, and court court trials and things like that is open to the public. The lawyers, judge cannot say who cannot come and attend a session. As long as that person is not being disorderly, distracting, um, you know, that, that person can come. Anybody can come. I could go if I wanted to. I mean, it is a public building. It is a open public trial because what? It's the states that are prosecuting in both cases. All right. So I just think that these attorneys should not be bringing politics into the courtroom, because what happens is that people are watching on the TV like me, and you get people riled out up on at home in their homes, mind their own business, but you just get people riled up. People they're gonna have something to say about it. You're gonna get talked about, just plain and simple. You're gonna get talked about. I'm not gonna call the attorney's name, but y'all, if anybody was watching, y'all know who it was. And so, I don't know why. Uh, I'm sure that attorney knows better, but I think that he thought that the judge was going to agree with his point of view. But now, let me just tell you this side of it. This particular attorney, the one that didn't want um, the protesters outside, didn't want the protesters to wear any type of dress that says Black Lives Matters, and that did not want any black pastors in the courtroom and all around the courtroom. Let me tell you something about this particular attorney. He has made his living his whole life, y'all, his whole life off the African American community. You know why? Because he has always, since he started practicing law, believed in helping people that did not have money. So the majority of his cases were people with low income status, and particularly African American blacks. Yeah. So that meant that if he won a case, let's say he won $1 million case for them, well, you know what? He got $333,000 off of that person. So he earned his whole career. If it wasn't for the black community that he has been helping all of these 20 odd years, 30 odd years, whatever, he wouldn't be where he is today. And for him to make a remark like that, I'm pretty sure that it stirred up his former clients. Okay, so that's why I'm saying you should not bring politics into the doggone courtroom. I think though, well, the judge admonished him himself. I mean, the judge really let him have it. He let him have it. So I think that he would never, ever, ever do that again. I think he learned his lesson. So it just goes to show you. My fun fact in politics for tonight is, because I like to make politics fun. Well, the fun fact is that you can really teach an old dog new tricks. Because the judge show taught him one today. Mm. All right, so moving on to the border crisis. I've been seeing some clips and sound bites from the border, and the complaint is that, we've got not just people coming from Mexico, Guatemala, Puerto Rico, whatever, but they say there's 54 different countries that people are coming from now, ever since President Biden and his administration announced, y'all, that anybody that was separated, this was supposed to be doing the Trump administration. But see, here's the thing about that. You can say that you're going to pay reparations to the parents or families that lost their children during the Trump administration. But that's a rule that you're going to have to keep up, because if you can't see, you never start anything that you can't end. My granddaddy taught me that a long time ago. He said, Jenny girl, don't never start nothing that you can't finish. Okay. So if the if you're gonna give one set of people, immigrants, $450,000 for separation of their child, with separation of their family or their children. If these come over and they are being separated because what they're saying already, that they take the children and take them to the Department of Human Services, they're already separating them right now when they come in. They're coming in as family. They showed a clip of this woman. She had 3 children, 4, I think. And so they're gonna separate her from her to be processed, right? They already separated because that's what they said. That's the way that is the process. They say they have to separate them to make sure that that is the parent, okay, or the relative. Anyway, so then you're gonna have some attorneys come along. Telling you right now, you're gonna have some attorneys come along and say, "Well, what's good for the goose is good for the gander." That you need to pay these people here because they came in last month. Their children were taken from them to DHS, and now we can't find them in the system. Huh? You know? Just wait. You're going to see. I'm telling you what I know is going to happen. Just watch and see what I tell you. So that's the reason why I say I'm upset about the idea of paying a group of people reparations that lost their children. Don't get me wrong. I am sorry and sad that they got separated from their children. But I did. Let me give you an example of what anybody that watched my show from last week. I said no reparations should be paid to any group of people or any culture of people until you take care of the reparations question that you already have, in front of you, and that is the reparation for children who are American citizens now, Black families whose parents, grandparents, great grandparents were slaves, and they can prove it. If you're not going to pay reparations from the beginning, then you don't need to start at the end. Okay, that's my opinion, and I'll be happy to tell Joe that. But that's why I don't agree with it. If you had already taken care of the reparations that need to be paid, that has been requested, asked for the past, 60 years or so, however long it's been. If you had already paid those reparations, that might not have a problem with it. But see, I have a problem when you don't take care of something that's already on your agenda that you just keep ignoring. Not just Joe, but all the administrations before. So all the administrations before, to me, you get counted as one. All of you get blamed for that. That's right. So that's why I have a problem with it. And not only that, the part B that I have a problem with is the amount. And that is the amount. You have to make somebody a semi-millionaire, a millionaire. And we got folks like me living on Social Security that don't even earn $10,000 a year. Really, really, really. Uh, uh-uh. I'm not having it. And I really, really hope that, I don't know what the NAACP is doing. They just zip, zip, zip. But somebody, because see, they're being too quiet on it. I haven't heard anything about it since the last, he got questioned so much at that last press conference about it. And he let us slip, said $500,000. And then he said, $450,000. Yeah. So we don't know how much that they are planning on doing it. But see, they're gonna do it. They're gonna sneak and do it some kind of way. Somebody need to get up there and get a handle on this thing to stop it dead in the tracks. Because if you get off the topic, before you know it, bam, it's gonna be signed and it's gonna be done. Somebody need to get on it. Because see, like I said last week, my grandfather was son of a slave, and I have proof of him being listed on a census in Mississippi as a houseboy. So where's my $450,000? And I'm sure it's not just me. I'm sure there's many of us that's got proof. So take care of your own first. This is your own. We've been living here all these years. We have contributed to society. And, a lot of us have become prominent members of Congress, even Senate, even, House of Representatives, even, of government officials all around the states, you know. So if you can't, don't let me hush, because y'all know I'm getting too excited about this. But yeah, you need to take care of that. And I'm going to keep a close watch. I've been watching. I ain't heard nothing, y'all. I told y'all last week that I was going to keep watching and keep listening and try to see if I could find out. They done shut it down. They done tickle-locked it. But see, why they tickle-lock and not talking about it, that's when we have to be worried. When they're not talking about it, okay? But I know one thing. I'm pretty sure there's some folks gonna raise a whole lot of folks if they do stick. A ruckus, like a whole lot of fussing. If they do sneak and do that, Joe Biden, don't do that. You're gonna tear this country apart. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please do not do that. Something like that is not right, and people know it's not right. It don't matter what race you are. People know that that's not the right thing to do. Okay? All right, y'all. Listen, I will be back next week with whatever's going on. On the scene, so I can say, what's the word, Thunderbird? Well, I've given you the word tonight, Thunderbirds, and that's it. That's my take on everything. on those three things anyway. And that's my time. Thank you all for watching. Please share. And I know it's not a lot of people watching. That's okay. I know I got to build it back up because what? I've been off not broadcasting for a whole year on Pearl's politics. There wasn't nothing going on. You know what I'm saying? Now politics is getting exciting again, y'all, because guess what? 2022 is right around the corner, and there's some midterm elections coming up. Yeah. So, I would have a lot to talk about that. So I decided, don't wait till the beginning of the year. Go ahead and start now because there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay. And I did want to make a point about the two trials, the two high profile trials that's going on right now. That's about the Second Amendment, y'all. The right to bear arms. Okay. It's all about the Second Amendment. So, and because it is about that Second Amendment, that's the reason why we don't know. There's no telling which way the jury would go. There's no telling which way the jury would go. Because, and see, that's where the politics of it comes in. Okay. All right. And let me just say this, I always end with this, but I like to tell people, get involved, listen to politics. I know I used to hate to listen to them, but now I love it. If you start watching it, you will get addicted. But get involved because everything in your life, politics evolves around everything in our lives. It does. It really, really does. So I'm going to close with what I say, tell you all the time. Remember, free thought, what you think up here, is a philosophy. It is not a policy. Nobody can make you think a thing. Nobody can force you to think what they want you to think. Free thought is a philosophy, and it's not a policy. That's my time. Love y'all. See y'all next week, okay? Bye-bye. Oh, okay. Thank you.